You called me out upon the waters, the great unknown.
This wood is soft enough that these are supposed to stick. Supposed to. I sharpened them before you got here. Do you know how to tell if something's sharp? Real talk? Do you know how? Never run your finger that way. That's how you know. Run it across. Run your finger. Ready? Like sandpaper. That means it's sharp. If it's smooth like this, so part of it is you have to have a soft wood, sharp edges. Always keep your axe sharp. It's a life lesson. Okay? So we're gonna All right, so if you real talk, you got to go to the bathroom. Number one around there. Number two, you can go to the house. Okay, we're gonna have we're gonna have beef hot dogs. We're gonna have Frito chili pies. And the rule around our house, you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. You can just go hungry, right? Okay. And then once I go get the food and bring it out here in a little bit, we'll let you guys help get the fire started. And then from there, we're going to sit around and tell some stories. I've got some chairs I'm going to bring out so we can sit around the fire too. Okay? Do you guys need anything else out of the vehicle while it's still daylight?
I'm just loving Lane's energy. You guys probably didn't see this, but earlier he was flossing, obviously. I just noticed a dab as well.
Right.
So, good things are happening.
Right. And he's already cracked open his own root beer.
This guy, he knows.
Right? Okay, everything you guys...
I learned all that from Lincoln.
Yeah, from his cousin. Everything you guys should need to build a fire, you should have, right? You've got your mine and the wood, and there's the ring. And we'll just see how you guys do what you do. I'm going to go get the food. They're pros. They told us. Can I share a secret with you guys? Can I?
Yeah.
Just rekindle the cotton balls, please. This is a trick. Okay? You guys know what petroleum jelly or Vaseline is? You know? Okay. This is just, you're fine, son. This is just cotton ball and petroleum jelly. If it doesn't work, don't worry. We've got more. Okay?
I always use dryer lint.
Do what?
I always use dryer lint.
Yeah, you just hang on to it. You're doing a great job hanging on to that right now. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Go ahead and actually put it right down here. So this small stuff, we're going to call it kindling. We're going to pile it kind of like in a triangle over that. We're going to light this. It's going to burn for about 2 to 3 minutes, and the small stuff is going to catch. And then we're going to take a little bit bigger, but still small, and stack it up in a triangle. And as that stuff burns, then we're going to start to take the bigger stuff and pile it up over it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, so you guys build me a triangle over this right now. So leave me an opening where I can still light this. That one might be too big right now. So do like the small stuff. There we go. There we go. Now you don't want it to fall on it because it could smother the fire. All right, let me see. Let's try that. You ever done one of these before? Metal match before when you strike it? You ever done that before? Here, try it real quick. So you take this and you strike it down against that. Just practice it first. There you go. All right, you try that. Good job. Do it down in here. Oops, look at that. I'll stack it back up since I'm the one that did that. All right, just strike it real quick. There you go. All right, actually, so let's try this. Strike that. Go ahead and strike that. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Keep going until it catches. There we go. See if I have a steady hand. this small stuff is really dry. That's why I went ahead and brought it over here, because it's great at starting a fire. Now hopefully you guys don't mind smelling like smoke. My wife's not always a fan of it because her hair takes it. You like it? I love smelling like smoke. Cooking on the grill, building fires, whatever.
Is it good for your lungs?
No, not if you breathe it all the time.
So right now,
Let's see how it's already starting to catch over here. You see that, Rico? Okay, we'll give that a moment. Yeah, that's doing good.
What did you say this aluminum was off of?
This actually, steel was a tractor wheel on a family member's John Deere tractor in West Texas. And they knew that we were looking for a fire ring. And eventually I would like to bury this, but part of the discussion that my wife and I had is where, because once it's in the ground, obviously it's in the ground.
Right.
So do you guys see how that's spreading now though? Okay, now here's another thing for you. See how this rim is up on wood? Do you see that? Where air can flow underneath? So do you know what 3 things you need to start a fire? What?
Use some small woods,
Okay, what 3 elements?
cotton ball,
We're using the same thing. Fuel. What 2 other things do you need for a fire? You need fuel, which is what we have here. This is looking really good, by the way. Good job, guys. All right, you got some bigger stuff. Let's go ahead and get, not the super big, but you have some bigger pieces we can start stacking over it. What's that? There you go. Remember, just keep kind of stacking it up. There you go. Good job. Good job.
why doesn't Mama like it?
She doesn't like for her hair to smell. Okay, so 3 things for a fire. 1 is fuel. Mr. Bruce, do you know another one?
I would say oxygen.
Absolutely. What does that mean?
It needs to be able to breathe underneath there.
But a fire is not a living thing, or is it, Mr. Bruce?
It is?
Really? Good job. Good job. Good job. Okay, what's the other one? Mr. Matt, I'm going to put money on you. We need fuel, we need oxygen, and does the fire start at stealth? Go ahead, put that in there, Rico. No, what else does it need? Mr. Matt.
Fire.
The, yes, ignition. 3 things. Fuel, oxygen, and ignition. You take any one of those things away and you cease to have fire or potential for fire. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me ask you this. When it comes to being a young man, you think we need encouragement in life sometimes? Know that we're doing a good job? Know that we're not complete losers and failures? I think as you get older and maybe you get married and have kids someday, you definitely need to know that you're not a bad dad or you're not a bad friend. What might we call that? Would that be maybe oxygen? Something to like breathe hope into you? What's something that you think we might need for fuel? What's something that you think fuels guys? What do you think? Mr. Bruce?
Fuels guys.
You can put some more wood in there, Rico. Javon, if you've got some more. I'll take that back from you, bro. Thank you. Oops, sorry. What's something else you think?
I would say love and respect.
Boom! Mr. Matt, what's another form of fuel you think?
Goals.
Goals. Guys are task oriented. We got to have stuff to do. How about what we're doing right now? Rico, what are we doing right now, all of us? Building fire. We're doing something together. Just remember that as men, we need this. Not just fire, but fire cook food. And we need community, man. We need each other. Cool. So see, we can even learn another life lesson from fire. So are you keeping track? We can learn a life lesson from throwing axes at trees and people if we have to, but hopefully not ever people. We can learn lessons from building fire. Cool, you guys keep putting some more on there, man. This is good. You can start putting some bigger stuff on there because it is definitely burning up what we've got. You want to continue to keep stacking it like we are.
Part of my hope in creating this weekend is that if you guys have questions about anything that we talk about, you're welcome to ask. and we're going to move into a time of me asking some intentional questions of these guys. And a lot of my hope is that really I just wanted you guys to see Christian men interacting with one another. We as people in our daily lives, we watch and we see whatever it is that's in front of us, and I want you guys to have a picture of what a Christian man is, of a man who loves God, a man who loves his wife, a man who loves his kids.
Amen.
And so that's a big reason why I wanted to create this weekend. And so before I start asking those questions, I do have a gift for you guys. So I'm going to give you those real quick. Lane showed me his earlier. I've got, if I can get them, some knives for you guys. Oh, there goes one.
Let's do this.
Here we go. So I want to tell you about these guys real quick. These have your name and the date on them. So we've got Jabon, March of 2018, Rico, March of 2018. On the other side, we've engraved the hashtag that we talked about earlier, Becoming Maza. And the hope is that as you guys carry these, this is a reminder of this weekend and the things that we talked about and the things that we've done. So before I give you these, I also wanted to say one more thing. You know, as Nick and I were kind of dreaming this up, he had encouraged me to, as I give them to you, have some kind of charge or statement with it. And so I've been praying over that for the last couple weeks, trying to decide what it is that I want to share with you. And this last Wednesday, I was at a prayer and worship night at my church. And one of the things that I enjoy most about my church is that there's an invitation for anybody at the church to come to the altar, which is basically just the foot of the stage. I know you guys go to church. You might recognize where the pastor is at or where the band is at is the stage, and then at the foot of the stage is the altar where people can come and pray. And whenever someone comes to the altar to pray, there's typically someone from the prayer team or someone from the crowd who will join that person. They'll kneel down next to them. They'll put their hand on their shoulder. And it's this picture of them basically saying, I'm with you, which I think is a similar picture to one of the names that God has. So if you guys spend any time in the Bible or hear people talk about the Bible, one of the names that God goes by is Emmanuel, which is translated to mean God is with us. And so this picture that I saw of these people being prayed with at the altar reminded me of a few months ago. I saw a man from our church, his name was Jeremy, and he walked down to the altar and he was praying. And for whatever reason, a minute had gone by and no one had joined him at the altar. But then out of the corner of my eye, I saw one of Jeremy's friends, whose name is Greg. He was in the back of the crowd, but I saw him fighting his way through the crowd, and he made a beeline for Jeremy, and he kneeled with him, and he put his hand on him, and it was again this picture of, I'm with you. And so I think that that is a good symbol for, or it just made me think that anytime we as people feel alone or we feel like we're in need, that we've been given space and opportunity to reach out to God. And I'd like to think that in those moments, God is also furiously and aggressively pursuing us. And so I know the underlying theme of this weekend is becoming a man and what that means. And I think a lot of becoming a man is scary and unknown, and different, obviously. It's this transition. But in that transition, I want you guys to know more than anything that God is with you.
Yes.
And in addition to that, for me, I think a lot of times God can feel like this invisible thing that's maybe not tangible, like you can't physically see God or you can't shake his hand or hug him. So I think one of the gifts that God gives us is one another as well. And so I want you guys to know that in addition to God having you and God being with you, that I'm with you as well. And I don't know if Holly and I have told you this, but not only am I and she with you moving forward, but we've been with you. We intentionally, when we were looking for a home to move into, picked a house in your neighborhood because we wanted to have access to you and we wanted you to have easy access to us. So all that to say, I want you guys to know that I love you, and whatever you need along your journey, I'm here. So I'm going to give these to you guys, and then I'd love for you, Nick, to kind of explain. I know Lane's got his knife out here as well, kind of what that journey was for you guys and what that has meant to you and him.
I'll let you go ahead and give those knives to them. And
So Javon, this one's for you.
And those are really sharp, like really sharp. And that plastic tip on the end is so you don't poke yourself. Do you guys know how to fold those up? Mr. Bruce, you want to show them?
Yeah.
All right, watch, he'll show you.
So Rico, check this out here.
So your knives fold up the same way.
A lever here on the inside. And push it in like that, and then that folds. So if I'm here, I'm pushing that lever in, and that folds.
Yep, and it pushes over.
You put more water in there.
There you go. And that'll fold up once you push that over.
Okay, wait. So take your thumb and push
get it figured
that
out?
piece over.
Cool.
Hold on. Watch, I'll show you. So you push this piece over to the side that way with your thumb, and then it folds in. You see how that piece moved over? Now watch it when you open it back. See how it moved over? And it keeps the blade from closing. And remember, your blade is really sharp. There you go. Push it over. Good. Careful, that blade's sharp. And then you can take that plastic tip off the end so your knife will actually close up. But it's on there so you guys don't stick yourself. So you can pull that off whenever you're ready. You can pull that off whenever you're ready. And so I want you guys to understand what Mr. Bruce said. Like, this is your knife. It's yours to take care of. It's yours to keep sharp. And it's to help remind you of this weekend. You guys ever had a knife before? It's your first one? That's awesome. So again, remember, whenever you get ready to throw or take that off, you can toss it in the fire if you want, okay?
Until I graduated high school, every fall, taking it off and dumping. That's something I look forward to doing with my kids one day, whether it's boy or girl. But I'd like to have something because I'd like to be able to instill in him a lot of things that my dad did when he grew up.
What were some of your interests or focus around
Yes.
anybody?
Yeah.
This is something that you do with friends. So it's a coffee ceremony, and these cups are from Ethiopia. A friend of mine who's a pastor brought these back from Ethiopia. This is traditionally what coffee is served out of. Okay. And then we have popcorn. Now typically you would do all of it in the fire, but the beans were already roasted, but the beans are from Ethiopia. And we did all this to honor you two, young men. Because remember last night we celebrated that you're not boys anymore, that you're young men now. And we count you friends because you're part of the brotherhood of manhood now. So we're going to serve up some coffee and eat some popcorn. And we're doing this all to honor you guys. And even if you don't love the coffee, at least humor me and try it. Okay? And it's just coffee. There's no cream or sugar or any craziness in it, other than maybe a little campfire smoke. Okay? So who wants to go first?
Daddy also has it.
Birthday boy, step up to the plate. Birthday boy.
Happy birthday.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah, happy birthday to you. Come on, guys. Where you at? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rico.
Cha cha cha.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
I don't know how still scaldingly hot this may be. Hopefully not too much, but
Did you think that you would wake up on your 14th birthday in Stratford, Oklahoma with a bunch of men?
I thought we did good, harmonizing for the most part.
Serious. He made it.
Looking good. You can go hunt lion now.
Oh.
Do what?
No, he should. They both should.
All right, grab you one, bro. Grab you the whole thing. Grab this too. All right, whoever's next, jump in there.
That's probably me.
And then come over here and grab you some
Here, I'll hold
popcorn.
it for you.
Steaming hot, man. Fresh. Woo, smell that.
What?
Too hot? Not hot enough? Is it super hot? Or is it cold? I don't want it to be cold. Jump in there. Jump in there.
It'd probably taste better.
I'll go knit.
Kind of cool.
Kind of lukewarm.
I agree. Laner, did you want one of these, son? I'm going to save the other one for Mr. Curtis. You want one? You and I'll share one. Come here.
Okay.
So good.
You guys, tell you what, hold up.
Rico's not feeling it.
You're not feeling it. Here, grab me some popcorn. That'll help.
He looked at me and he goes,
Grab me some popcorn out of there. We've got pocket knives. We've got a little water. We can try to split this between us.
Ration it.
Right, we'll ration it, as Mr. Matt said. I'm going to let him ration
Bruce
it
has
out.
got some water.
Right, Bruce has got, there we go. If we have to, we can dig a hole and trap some water, use a piece of plastic or something. Anyways, I'm getting lost. We're gonna come around and we're gonna come out on the south side of the barn. We've got BB guns over there. We've got a bow, some bows and arrows. Here's what we're gonna do: as we walk through, we're gonna start to look for certain signs of life, things that are happening. You know how you want people to know your name, you want people to know, hey, this is my space, even though I know, like we were talking last night, some of you, you're around girls a lot. Girls definitely have their space. As guys, as young men now, we're like, hey, you're on my turf, bro. Well, whenever the deer, the boys, get antlers, because they fall off every year, when they get their antlers, they like to let all the other deer in the area know. And they do what are called scrapes and rubs. Do you see this tree come up closer? You see where the bark is scraped off this? So what one of the boys did is he said, I want everybody who walks by on this trail to know that I've been here. Okay, so there's a bow for you. There's a bow for you. 2 arrows. Hold on, let's do this. 2 arrows for you. 2 arrows for you. Let's walk back up here. Pull it back. And right before you shoot, put your front finger down. Aim towards that target. Put your finger down before you let go. Good. Good job. You guys want to do one more? Or you want to go ahead and do BB guns now? You guys go ahead and grab your arrows. Bring them back here. Now, see how there's no red? That means the safety's on. But even though there's a safety, you always treat every gun what? Like it's loaded. Okay? You always keep this gun pointed that way. If you ever turn around, I'm gonna take it away from you. Okay? You never turn around with the gun like this because people are behind you to load this. You want to keep it up where all the BBs roll down. Pull this up till it clicks. Close it. It's loaded. You'll look down the barrel. We're gonna set some cans up here in a second. And then when you're ready to shoot, you're gonna push this over to where it's red, and then you pull the trigger when you're ready to shoot the can. Make sense?
There you go.
All right, good job, Rico.
First shot.
Now it should be ready. Remember, you don't put your finger on that trigger until you're ready to pull it. It's on safety, so you'll have to take it off. Remember how to take it off safety? Okay. You don't pull that trigger till you're ready to shoot. You just keep reloading and going with it, guys. Good shot, man. All right, now, do you know how to reload? Go ahead. Put your safety on.
It's been a special 18 hours for me. We were talking about books last night, and this idea spurred from a book called Powerful Moments.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I've already said this to you, but I want to say thank you to you for taking it and running with it, making it even more than I thought it could be. Thanks to you guys, Curtis for videoing, Kendall for playing guitar and contributing what's in your core and identity. Matt, you as well. I wanted to bring friends out here that I've bonded with for a while, and so it's special to share it with you guys. One of the things I've been thinking about last night after our conversation is just that, you know, especially when I was a kid, and maybe even sometimes today, there's this feeling that I have that maybe I'm separate or not enough to participate or be a part of what manhood is. But ultimately I know that I am. And I think especially at you guys' age, it can feel like that's so distant or so unknown, kind of like we were talking about last night. But I just want to encourage you guys that you're not different. Kind of like we said, you have transitioned into being young men now, and you can participate and be a part of that process. And so yeah, I'm just super grateful for this experience. It's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life, and I hope we get to have more experiences like this.
Something that's been called out in both of you, and you're responsible now. You are young men now, and you're going to have to figure out what that looks like on your own, but know that you have people in your life who care. We're going to be praying for you. We're going to be holding you accountable. We want to help you. And again, you may not see me for a while, but that guy right there, you feel free to ask him when you have questions, when you have frustrations, okay? And you guys have learned some stuff this weekend. You've learned to keep your axe sharp. You know what we have that's a lot like an axe that we keep sharp? Do you know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
I'm thinking to keep your knife sharps.
Okay, look here. No, that's good. Look, your mind. Your mind is like an axe. You got to keep it sharp. Okay? Remember when we were shooting bows and arrows and BB guns? You can't hit what you don't aim at. You got to be careful what you focus on, what you aim at in life. Because if you're not careful, you'll hit it. And if you focus on greed and power and hurting people, that's what you're going to end up doing, because that's what you're focused on. And when we walked through the woods this morning, there were things all around us. And we had to train our minds and our eyes to know what to look for. And then we realized, wow, there's stuff everywhere around us. There are deer tracks, there's bones, there's rubs. As you go through life, you've got to remember to pay attention. It's so easy to just coast and just do what's easy. But as men, you're responsible. You're accountable to the people in your family, to the people in this brotherhood. It matters how you live. It matters the type of man you become. Does that make sense? The last thing I want to say is we're proud of you guys. I don't know if you've ever heard anybody say that to you before or not, but we're proud of you guys. We're proud of you. And we believe that you are good men. We believe that you will choose to continue to become good men, that you'll be kind to women, that you'll be respectful, that you'll work hard and be honest. Because that's what godly men do. They do what's right even when it's hard.